I've developed a methodology for undertaking investigations and reviews into workplaces and workplace culture. I'm often asked to come in and help an organisation understand the details about problems or complaints, and part of this methodology that I've developed means that while I will look at the particular details of the complaint or the situation that's problematic, I also want to look at the culture or the context that sits around that situation. By understanding more about that context, that culture, I can gain much more understanding about what has gone on, and as part of the outcome of my investigations, I always will write recommendations to help that organisation move forward and to do their best to help them address the particular challenges that they've got. And if I don't have a pretty good understanding of that context, then I don't think that the quality of my recommendations are going to be high enough, and I want my work to be of a very high standard. And if I can get the recommendations sharp and tailored and useful, then it's going to be really much more beneficial for that organisation, and it's going to help them make good choices around how they go ahead and attempt to respond usefully to the problems that they have in their workplace. So an example was a particular workplace, quite a complex workplace, lots of layers and shifts and so on. And there had been a letter of complaint signed by many people, and I was asked to come in and investigate this. So what I did was I started by meeting all the complainants and getting to understand the issue. Now, the complaint had been about bullying and inappropriate behaviour. I couldn't find any evidence of bullying. I really don't think that the signatories to this complaint really understood what bullying was. I did find evidence of inappropriate language, and then I started to interview the rest of the team to understand more about the culture. And as I talked to those people who weren't part of the complaint, I began to realise that inappropriate language was pretty normal in this workplace. Undesirable, but normal. By understanding the culture, I could understand something more about the nature of the issue that formed part of the complaint. It was more complex than that. I found all sorts of other things that contributed to a really good understanding of some negative dynamics that were going on in this workplace. And it became very clear to me that some of the complainants were in fact the bullies in this workplace. It was a very complex situation. I wrote 2 reports for the organisation, one about the investigation to do with the complaint, and a separate one that was focused around the culture and provided the organisation with some very clear guidance as to how they might go forward in building a more effective culture. These 2 elements form key components of this particular methodology that I've developed, that I understand my clients find quite useful. So the investigation into the complaint and report, and the investigation into the culture around the complaint with a report with recommendations, forms the key elements of the methodology that I use to investigate complaints and workplace cultures.